morning, I'm Marilena Tarantino from POLI.design, and today I will be moderating the presentation of the International Master in Strategic Design for Innovation and Transformation, in collaboration with the POLI.design Graduate School of Management. Please feel free to use the chat box to submit any questions you have, which we will address in the second part of the session. Now let me introduce the speaker, Michele Melazzini. I leave you the floor.
Thank you, Marilena. Nice to meet you all, even though I can't see you. My name is Michele. I'm one of the two scientific directors of this master. I'm a designer, and I'm also professor in strategic design and researcher in the same discipline and research area. I'm the design, let's say, part of the directorship. On the other side, Professor Claudio Dell'Era is the director of this master on the side of the management school, graduate school of management. So as you can already perceive from my very short introduction of myself, this is a master, an executive one, dedicated to executive profile that combine these two sides, so the business design, strategic design side, and the management and innovation practices. So we are only the, let's say, the representation of a huge variety of faculty members of this master, which is a new product that we launched actually 3 years ago, and then I'm going to introduce to you all how is it structured and why we design actually this master. So strategic design for innovation and transformation, the SDIT master, as we call in an acronym way, aims to let's say prepare, but I would say make actual designers or actual manager to being able to navigate the complexity of the business and not only world that we are living, and related with the all complex challenges that professionally and as human beings we are living in these times. But let me be back on the reason why of this master. So we want to transfer and train people in order to be able to envision meaningful, what we call meaningful innovation, which should be led by a human and people-centered transformation. I would say also a planet-centered one. Leveraging also the internal implication, therefore engaging employee inside the organization in order to activate a transformation from the inside. So as you can hopefully get from my very first sentences in describing this master, it's really related to stay on the frontiers of the strategic design and also the innovation management. So give you a new approach to then be a professional expert inside your own organization or consultancy and leading this kind of transformative path and approaches. It will start in February next year. The available seats you can read over there are 25. The most important things, being an executive master dedicated to professional, it's an online part-time master with the related all hours and ACTS delivered that you can read over there in the screen. Let me be more specific on SDIT master. So as I was mentioning to you, the aim is being able to understand how nowadays the world of innovation and the topic of innovation is changing, and we will give you through the courses that, let's say, are delivered inside the master, different perspective on approaching innovation and improving the well-being of humans, but also the well-being of companies, as therefore having an impact on the society. And we want also to, let's say, make people grow in order to them to become a sort of actors and ambassadors that can be a sort of inspiration for strategic transformation, either within or outside the company. It depends on where are you placed in the job market. The other goals of this master is being able transfer to you something and train to you competencies that will enable you to navigate the digital evolution of the technology that we are living right now. Being able to handling the role of artificial intelligence, not only generative one, and being able to understanding the role of data nowadays, not only the big one, but also what we call the TIC data. And I will be more detailing when I will explain you a dedicated block of content that will be part of this master. Another aspect, which is, let's say, between the lines of each of the courses and experience that you will have if you will be a participant of this master, is also nurturing an entrepreneurial mindset, to being able to be a proactive professional inside your own professional realm and activate a project-based transformation, as I'm used to call in some of my lecture, which I have the privilege to also teach inside this master and be the tutor of some face-to-face moment. Another aspect, as you can see, the verb and the word is very important. So being able to organize creative process. So having the capability of comprehending the complexity of a creative process and integrating the creative process into the operation of a company, into the business logic of a company, which is something that maybe you already deal with, but in the master we are trying also to push a bit forward in order to give you a new way to cope with this kind of challenges. Here you have like a overall architecture, I would call in this way, of the master. So the master is structured in 4 main content blocks. The first one is called innovation and design, to kick off, to break the ice and to start immediately from how we can approach the strategy making, the innovation-led purposes through the lenses of design. You will have different courses and modules inside that on the very frontiers on strategic design and innovation management, and will be like a way to starting and give you the scope and the context and the purpose of this master. The second block instead is related to leadership, what we call leadership and engagement. In this block, in all the blocks actually, you have a combination of courses that are delivered by professional or professor that belongs either to the design discipline or area, and also professional that belongs to business studies and innovation management and within organization. I was saying before, leadership and engagement, the second block. The second block is mostly focused to understanding how we see nowadays the culture of innovation within organization and how we can become or train our leader approach and attitude in order to being able to understand how to activate a transformation inside the organization, starting also in understanding how we can be one of the way through which we can break the silos within organization and connect the different unit within organization. Therefore, you can see in this block all the modules and the courses, included the one that I also really care about, which is employee design for employee engagement. So you can imagine and you can foresee we are going to work on the internal transformation either as a professional or as a organization itself. The third block, when we proposed and planned it 3 years ago, is really on observing the actual world. Design and the strategic design in particular is practice and a discipline that evolve and is strictly bonded to how the world is changing. And nowadays, data play a critical role in each of the process of transformation and innovation and project in general. Therefore, we ask ourselves that designers and managers do need an extra, let's say, train and transfer and areas of exploration on what are the role of the data. And in this block, you will have different professional and professor transferring to you what is the role of both reading the huge amount of data that we have at our disposal nowadays, but also being able to build your own lenses in interpreting the data. And as a very design perspective, being a designer, I'm sorry for that, also it's very important to understand the weak signals in the market, what we call the TIC data. So the data that are maybe not outside there, written in all the reports that we can have available or proposed by LLM software, but something that only our brain can identify observing the reality. So this is the key component of data and creativity block. The fourth block instead is another frontiers topics for design, which is design operation, design ops and transformation. So in this fourth block, you will go through understanding the connection between the strategic design, the design in general practices, and the operation, and how nowadays we can train, again, specific skills and competencies and through some tools in navigating then and in including design into operation, or in understanding what are the new role of a designers or a design practitioner inside of complex processes, and how to navigate this complexity in a practical way, understanding the operation, and then studying what is one of the way of describing one of the new role and areas of design, which is design ops, design operation. So this is the overall architecture of the master. But it's not only, let's say, a set of content discussed in class online. One of the key aspects for having a fruitful learning experience is also proposing to you different face-to-face and live moments. One are called bootcamps, mostly digital bootcamp. Those bootcamp are workshop, what we call workshop, which is project-based learning at the end of the day. So we have a specific project, we conduct a specific sprint, so very condensed project in 3 days, from Thursday to Saturday, again for adapting to your agenda as a already professional. And therefore we're going to propose you a specific challenge, and then we're going to also have some guests belonging to our very rich network of SDIT ambassadors that will then give you also some point of view on how to cope with complex challenge like the one that we will go through into these 2 digital bootcamps. The other face-to-face and peculiar moment of the master are what we call face-to-face factory experiences. Those instead are 2 intense weeks in presence, in which we combine the 3 elements that we really want you to live. Both having the possibility to interact with companies in the city where we will lead the experience. Second of all, we want you to networking with different professionals coming from different side of the world. Third of all, we want you also to experience the culture, not only the design culture, but the culture of the place where you are, where we will live the experience week. Indeed, at the end, these experience weeks are organized in a way that is a combination of these 3. So we will have moment dedicated to networking, we will have moment dedicated to project-based learning, with an activity applied again as a workshop, and then also moment of interacting of company, ambassador, professional, high-skilled professional in the realm of the topic of this master. Which kind of professional outcomes? Actually, when we really imagine this workshop, we realize that outside there, and the 3rd edition is already a confirmation that we were kind of right. We are outside there both professional in the design expertise. So like me, for example, I studied design more than 15 years ago. Design in the same way in these years evolves a lot. Therefore, we want to give you some more actual overview of the role of strategic design and design in general in the real world. So as you can see, we create this sort of radar chart or heat map, because you can build your own professional outcomes. To be very honest, outside there, the job position that describe what you can do after also having this master has very different labels. So we have like senior design manager, design researcher. So I see design manager, I see a lot of different labels. But from our interpretation, the role that you can have inside the company or as a consultant outside the company are the one that you can read in this slide. So you can be either a manager with a design expertise and aptitude in approaching the complexity. You can be a strategist, again, with a design soul. You can be an innovation manager. You might be already an innovation manager, and you can increase your capability of approaching innovation. You can be a brand manager or a product manager, but again, with what you can have as an expertise nowadays. A design consultant, a design specialist on specific element. But let me also share with you what you can see in the radar chart. So you can have competencies in analyzing the complexity, so as a design analyst. But you can also be a catalyst of change, having the capability of synthesize information and then lead the transformation. You can be an interpreter, either a mentor or a broker inside complex process or complex organization. So these are the kind of professionals that we are seeing and observing becoming people after attending and living the experience of this executive master. Why choose this master? I hope that you already have some reason why, since you are here listening to, and I hope that in the first 15 minutes of my speech, you already have some curiosity on that. But to synthesize, first of all, you will interact with a lot of internationally recognized professionals and scholars in the realm of the topic and research and practice area that I mentioned until now. Second of all, as I was mentioning to you, you will have the opportunity to, we always interact with very talented professional with long expertise or short expertise, but very talented in terms of proposing something on the frontiers on this job or this evolving job. Then you have the benefit of developing professional skill delivered by the Graduate School of Management and POLI.design with the digital learning platform that we build on in order to be on track and on the pace of the innovation also in the learning. So we try to be innovative in the way we deliver learning as a POLI.design school. The possibility to challenge other participants, that's another key point. So you are all professionals, so interacting with them and the interaction with other professionals is one of the key elements of attending to this master. And also steal the knowledge, steal the attitude from other professionals like you. Another point, it's a really hands-on activity when we have workshop moments, but also some, I would say the most of the part of the courses, even though we deliver them online, we really apply them in a project-based way. And then, as I was mentioning, enriching your network that we have as a school, and both the school on the side of design and business. I'm gonna hand over to Marilena then for this final explanation.
Thank you, Michele, for your presentation. I'll take the floor again to provide more details about the application process for the next edition of the Strategic Design for Innovation and Transformation, which will begin in February 2026. By scanning the QR code, you will be redirected to the Specializing Master page on the POLI.design website, where you will need to complete your application. On this slide, you can see the list of required documents and the details of the ideal candidate profile. Here in this slide, you can find the participation fees. Please note that an early bird promotion of €2,000 is currently available. So now we can move on to the Q&A session. Let me read the questions that we have in the chat box. So the first one. Could you please clarify the differences between this master and the one in strategic design that was introduced before?
I'm happy to receive this question, of course. So they are completely two different learning products, I would say. Completely two different experiences. This one, Strategic Design for Innovation and Transformation, it's a master for professionals and executive profiles, which they should already have at least 3 years of experience. in the realm of innovation and transformation and strategic design. Everything is mostly delivered online to be, let's say, coherent with the professional life of people that already have a job in this sense. And therefore, this is completely like a different master. And let me say, also, the content that we deliver inside strategic design and innovation and transformation are a little bit more advanced in terms also of, because we are expecting candidates that are already more aware on the complexity of working within or outside the organization and the business realm. Therefore, some content related both to innovation management and the design are more, let's say, pushing the throttle forward and we should take as granted something. Instead, the Master in Strategic Design is really for starting your own expertise as a strategic design. It's an experience in presence, fully delivered in Milan, as I was mentioning in the previous session. Maybe there are some participants that are staying in the same room. So I already mentioned all the story of Master in Strategic Design. Then the candidate that we have are more after bachelor. So the bunch of students are much younger in Master in Strategic Design rather than one of the master that we are describing now.
Another one is, which is the difference from an MBA program?
Oh, thank you for this question. That's a very good one. This is not an MBA, first of all. An MBA, it's a program that prepare you to handle really business plan, handle economics, being the one that really take care of the financial implication. Then, of course, in the MBA, if you apply for an MBA, you will have some similar courses that we do have in strategic design for innovation and transformation. But we are not expecting to, let's say, deliver something similar to an MBA. This strategic design for innovation and transformation is an executive program that gives you an overview both on the side of management and innovation and also on design side, but really focusing on the strategic design lenses. So for sure, we have in the past people that do get benefit of this product, and then they also exploit the experience that they already have, and they are able to control and become CEO, COO, or either not C-level, but managing the complexity on a business side. But this is not the purpose of this master. So it's not a creative MBA. It's really a high-level courses on innovation and transformation in terms of management of organization and innovation, and also advancement in terms of strategic design competencies. I hope that is clarified.
Yeah,
in case, drop in the chat a follow-up question.
Another question is, when I was reviewing the master's degree, I saw that it can be studied online. To take the workshops, I have to travel to Italy?
Yes. Short answer is yes. For the face-to-face factory week, it's let's say 90% of the students of this edition do try to attend in presence, at least for the 2 weeks. In the previous edition, one is in Milan for sure, and the other one was in the US. So for the factory week, you have to travel and you have to be in presence. Of course, you can also be, let's say, eligible for passing the master, even if you don't participate to one of the 2 weeks. So we also, of course, go and let's say we are open to understand and flexible to understand the different condition of professional, and considering all the aspect that implies traveling. But the face-to-face week are meant to be only in presence. Instead, the bootcamp are meant to be face-to-face moment, but you can attend also remotely. So we are organized to deliver a blended experience or a fully online experience.
Related to the bootcamp, are there any companies involved? in
The
master
company,
program?
the company, thank you for the question, Marilena, again. The company are involved not in the boot camp, mostly involved in the face-to-face experience. But let me repeat that during the bootcamp we do invite what we call SDIT ambassador, so the ambassador of this master, which are professional working inside company that came into the bootcamp and then can contribute with their own witnessing their own experience inside the company. So in a way you interact with professional as well.
Okay, I have another person that is asking, so there is no possibility for a fresh graduate to be admitted?
Fresh graduate, you mean after bachelor?
I only had some internship. Could I be eligible?
I think in this case you are more eligible for the other master delivered by POLI.design, because you should have 3 years of experience and already having the, let's say, the awareness of that.
So another one is, could you better explain how the bootcamp works?
Yes, more than happy to do that. So the structure of the bootcamp is organized in this way. So on Thursday we met and we launched a specific challenge on a specific topic that we as director decide, me and Professor Dell'Era. And then for the 3 days, this is the project and the challenge that connect each of the topic that we will go through. So you will have just a few frontal lecture with us, but then most of the time will be team-based activity in approaching the challenge that you have. And in addition, we will have visit from the ambassador, as I was mentioned, that will jump in the end of the day for giving some guest speech. And we will have also usually some moment of leisure, of networking, having an aperitivo, as we call it in Italy, and a dinner together. So also some moment of leisure.
Okay, thank you. We don't have any other questions. I would like to thank you, Michele Melazzini, for the presentation, and stay connected for the next one.
Thank you.